Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. This is the 1UP Superstar Series Playoffs, round 3 of 10, round 23 of 30 on the schedule, and we are here at the Armory Digital Superspeedway for our final Superspeedway race of the season. And if we learned anything from yesterday's race, it's going to be expect the unexpected, and hopefully we might even see another first-time winner as well. Alongside me in the booth today is Duke Ansack for today's running, and this race is going to be incredibly chaotic. As we saw yesterday, a lot of playoff drivers had issues yesterday, and I imagine a similar fate will befall so many others here this afternoon in today's race as well.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Yesterday's race was incredible. It was chaotic. It was wild. Some of us are still trying to recover from watching that race yesterday, a whole day ago. We're still trying to figure out exactly all that went on. But one of the things that we can take away from watching that race and watching previous races on super speedways is that the more room you have on the track, the better. And this track is really, really wide. You will probably see a lot of four-wide racing comfortably today, which is absolutely insane to think about. So if you have a lot of room and you're farther in the back and the crash happens up front, you might be able to get through. We saw some close calls yesterday as well with some playoff drivers. So you're going to have to be patient all day today. You're going to have to be on your toes, able to make some moves, and you're going to have to be up front at the end of the race to try to win it. So lots of points to be gained and lots of points to be lost, and it's going to be a good one.
Looking at the starting grid now, Bobo Jones gets his second pole of the season and will line up on pole position, a full 10th and a half ahead of Patrick Smith in the 07. Looking for his first career win, he will line up on the outside of the front row. Andres Molina, another playoff driver, lines up third ahead of Kyle Vaughters, the winner here in the spring. Will start fourth ahead of Miles Mashburn, rounding out the top five. And this time around, the playoff drivers are scattered throughout the field pretty evenly. So with that being said, is there anything these guys can do to maintain a safer race, or is this just go for broke and hope you can bring the car home in one piece?
I wish there was a trick to it. I wish that there was some way, some strategy you can use to get through this race without any chance of being in a wreck. Some drivers will follow the back and they'll kind of wait there for the whole thing and see if they can sneak through the crashes. Or some drivers like to try to stay up front. Of course, it's difficult to stay up front because everybody's always passing you. It's I hate to say it, but it's going to be a lot of hoping and a lot of luck involved with whoever's able to win this race. And of course, having a fast car doesn't hurt, but it's not always the fastest car that wins. So you just got to be there when it matters and hope for the best for the entire race.
So that being said, the cars are lined up on the grid for 48 laps of racing here at Armory Digital, and we are, as always, ready to bring you the action. This is the 1UP Superstar Series Playoffs from Armory Digital Superspeedway, and the green flag, as always, coming up right now. With Bobo Jones and Patrick Smith on the front row, we ask you join us for a silent lap 1 in memory of Ryan Darnell, as we always do in this series. Green flag in the air. We're underway here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. We've only completed one lap, and yet we've already seen a pass for the lead. Andres Molina in the 77, a playoff driver, of course, and he has led lap number 1. But here comes Kevin Carter on the inside with help from Keon Daly, and I believe, who is that? That's Ben McDonnell, I believe, in that 12 car on the inside, trying to power past the 77 and move Kevin Carter now out into the lead of this race on lap 2.
Yeah, and we're already looking at four wide racing. in a lot of the important positions right here. It looks like, I mean, that's for sixth right there, that 4 wide right in the front of the group. And look at all those cars driving by. And all of those cars with yellow spoilers, they've got a lot to lose and a lot to gain today because those are all the playoff drivers. So the yellow spoilers you see, those are the important ones to pay attention to right now because they've got a shot at the championship. And right now, that 83 car is leading the charge of all the playoff drivers, but he's got 4 of them right behind, and they're all 4 wide racing for position. And Stephen Hunter on the bottom right there, making a good move in that 51 car. He's going to the front. He's always trying to be up there, and he's always got a shot in these races, as we've learned in the past. But right now, the 12 is under pressure from the 71 behind.
The 81 of Roberto Khan Jr. But keep in mind, the 71 of Keon Daly, who led last time by, he's in contention for that Owners' Championship in that 71 car.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot to lose in this race as well, making his final start of the season in that 71 car. And after a solid performance in yesterday's race, he's looking to replicate it here. As Roberto Crown Jr. leads lap number 3, and we're on the lap 4, and Crown has got a few Toyotas behind him, helping him out, the 83 and the 51, but I think they're going to get split up here by Ricky Freeman Jr. on the inside.
Yeah, at least they're going to be put to the bottom middle of the track, as we have to say, because there's about 4 lanes that everybody can use, 5 if you squeeze it. So right now, bottom middle, those Toyotas, they're putting a charge on. They're trying to go to the front, but that 81 is looking really, really fast right now. He's hanging. Oh, as I start to say it, he just lost it a little bit there. Had to slide up the track, and now the 83 has gone to the inside. It looks like he's going to gain a bonus point in this championship and lead a lap right there. Now, unless the 81 steals it from him, we'll see who gets it.
No, the 83 got him at the line for help from Stephen Hunter and Ricky Freeman Jr. on the inside. Ben McDonald shoved up high. And then look at that black and blue car on the inside line, Kyle Vaughters. He won this race in the spring by the slimmest of margins over his teammate Joshua Michaels, and he's looking to do something that's very difficult to do, and that is to win both races at one super speedway in the same season. It's very hard to pull off. Only a handful of drivers can say they've done it, but Kyle Vaughters is looking to do it here, and he's having a pretty strong performance right now, running just outside the top 5.
Yeah, and those cars that are associated with Kyle Vaughters, they've always had good performances at these tracks, without any issue. Of course, if there is an issue, you can't really control it. But, those guys, they're always kind of running up front. Even in the Nitro Series, they're always kind of up there. And look at this, Ricky Freeman Jr. has a huge run. He's going to be able to sneak the lead, and Kyle Vaughters with the same. He's going to go down there 3 wide, trying for the lead.
So Kyle Vaughters going right back to where he left off in the spring, leading the way at Armory Digital with JQ Halleck right behind in the 84, and Daniel Bouchard in the Dodge making gains, and he's got a couple Dodges right behind him, Zachary Fitzwater and Cody Goforth in the 60s. All good runs, but here comes JQ Halleck in the 84. They're going to try and take the lead from Kyle Vaughters in the 62. It looks like Halleck's going to try and make it work.
Yeah, and Halleck is clear for the lead now, but of course he's got a raging pack of cars chasing him down now, and 3 Dodgers on the bottom. Like you said, some challengers down there looking to make it happen on the bottom lane of this racetrack.
So right now it is JQ Halleck leading the way ahead of a side-by-side battle between Daniel Bouchard and Kyle Vaughters. We got some names we don't expect to see here too often. You got Allison Rose up there. She's great at super speedways despite not making many races. Ryan Soper got a top 5 at Pensacola earlier this year. And Jordan Presto won the first Pensacola 500 last year. So all 3 of them are lined up on the inside line, and they're starting to make gains as well on that inside. But it's going to continue to be JQ Halleck leading the way with Kyle Vaughters on their outside. And Daniel Bouchard just pushing them along in the 73, hoping for an opportunity.
So we're going on to lap 8 here, and one of the things you're going to want to watch for in this race is to see who is able to kind of stay up there, hang around in the top 3 or 4 rows for the whole race. You know, those are going to be the guys that are going to challenge. So right now I'm looking at the 83 car who's sitting there third in the outside row, and of course behind him Stephen Hunter as well. Then there's the 81 in the middle lane, and Kyle Vaughters has been up there for a while too. Ricky Freeman Jr. All those drivers, you're going to have to keep an eye on those drivers, because if they're able to stay up there and stay part of it, even though they've gotten shuffled to the top lane, that's just a sign of a fast car that those guys have. You got to watch out to the end of the race for those cars, because they're going to be there challenging for the win.
Here comes Cody Goforth on the inside with a push from Allison Rose in the 46. Bouchard leads at the line, but Goforth is going to be in a very good position to take the lead here in a couple corners time and move the 60 out into the lead of this race. Cody Goforth having a very good run in the 60 car. Kyle Vaughters scrapes the wall a little bit off of turn 2. No harm, no foul. He continues on his way. We stay green. But right now it is Goforth ahead of the 2 Capital Racing cars of Allison Rose and Jordan Presto. They've had some difficult times making races this year. They've only made about 10 apiece out of the 22 we've run so far. But they're doing a very good job on these super speedways, and it's showing right now. They're running side by side for second right now.
So we mentioned how Kyle Vaughters has always done pretty well at these tracks. Well, his teammates in the same boat. Looks right there, the 26 car is he's second in that bottom groove right now. So he's having a great day, and he's caught up to the leaders at this point. And now the 91 of Nick Ortiz is down there as well, and he's getting passed by the 66. So this is getting wild up front. We're seeing a lot of new characters at play here on lap 10.
You a bit surprised at all we've made it to lap 10 without an incident? We couldn't say the same yesterday, but these guys have been keeping it very clean so far.
Yeah, this racing has been real interesting. You know, they're not really getting super close to each other. I mean, it looks crazy, but it really is controlled right now. These drivers, they're not pushing up against each other. They're not going 5 wide, which is just a little bit too much for this track. You know, they're kind of keeping it calm right now, and I expect that to continue. But towards the end of the race, I'd bet you it's gonna get.
Oh, I hate to interrupt, but we've got a smoker in the middle of the pack, and I believe.
Is it Allison Rose?
I think it is in the 46. No caution for this, but Allison Rose, after such a promising start to this race, you can see her right there in the Crowley Foods Ford Mustang. Her chances of winning this race have gone up in a puff of smoke, and she will be the first retiree from this race on lap number 11. But despite that, we have yet to see the caution come out for this, and it has completely split this pack up into 2 different packs. We've now got one up front and one at the back, with a couple single file guys in the middle. As you can see, yeah, McMillan's right there, Ryan Soper, a couple guys in there. But you got this pack right here who have emerged from that relatively unscathed, and a lot of these guys looking for their first wins. Joshua Michaels, Cody Goforth, Anderson Reed, Zachary Fitzwater, and Henry Brown are all in this pack looking for their first career wins. And you got 10 cars under a blanket right now trying to get battle for the lead. 11 if you count Lane Sanders there in the green car at the back of your shot.
Yeah, you know, and I want to say Allison Rose did a really good job there. She kind of that blew her engine or whatever happened there on the outside lane of the track. You know, there's 3 lanes below you that you got to get through to get there to the bottom, and she did a fantastic job, even though it split up the pack. That's kind of expected. But, you know, getting to the bottom of the track right there without causing a big crash is huge in this race. I'm sure all these other drivers really appreciate that. And it seems like there's no fluid all over the track or anything, so we're able to keep racing 3 wide for the lead. And it looks like Justin Hutchinson is on the bottom trying to go for the lead, a playoff driver.
He just passed Anderson Reed, who's just led his first lap since race number 3 at Bristol, where he started on pole and led 48 laps that day. So Anderson Reed enjoying the lead, albeit very briefly, because now Justin Hutchinson has taken the lead. But Henry Brown's looking to take it away on the inside with help from Lane Sanders in the 41. Remember, Sanders won the Pensacola 500 back in March, so he knows how to get his way around the superspeedway. If he can get through a superspeedway race without wrecking, he's got a good chance of winning it.
Absolutely. And somebody that we haven't mentioned at all today is Jared Polanski, sitting there 10 points behind the leader going into this race. And he just, with the 83 car, caught up to this front group. They were tandeming down the straightaways and in the corners, and they caught up to these guys, and now they're hanging. If you see just on the right hand side of the shot as they come by, there's that 18 car and the 83 is on the bottom. They've split up now, but they caught up to these guys and they're in it. And look at that behind all these other guys. They're lined up. They're going faster than these guys are, who are going 3 wide. They're catching up to this pack, and it's going to become another pretty big pack here pretty soon. Everybody fighting for the lead.
3 wide up front for the lead. It's Henry Brown, Lane Sanders, and Cody Goforth in the 60. It looks like it'll be the latter who takes the lead of this race now on lap 14. We're already a quarter of the way through this race. Can you believe it? We've made it 14 laps without a yellow flag, which is pretty impressive. I don't want to jinx anything, but It's a very good performance out of these guys. And even though, and we've got all 3 Royal Performance Motorsports cars in this lead pack. Henry Brown, Joshua Michaels, and Kyle Vaughters in the 62. So don't count any of them out, because they put on a show here in the spring.
Yeah, this has been an impressive race so far from all of these drivers in this front pack, of course, and everybody else as well. Allison Rose especially. This has been impressive how tidy it's been. And look at that, we've got to move for the lead. It's been hard racing like we're watching right now, but all of it without a lot of contact, without a lot of close paper width, away from each other type of stuff. And it looks like J.D. Martin has led that lap, which is impressive with a big slingshot move going to the bottom. But it's looking good right now, and I think that it will continue. And of course, if it does, we're going to have green flag pit stops at some point. So we're in the window now. Of course, nobody's going to pit until they get close at the end in case a caution comes out. But this for now has looked really, really good in this race.
Patrick Smith dives to the inside of Jordan Presto with help from Kyle Vaughters. Smith makes a move to the inside in the 07. He's one of the leading contenders for Rookie of the Year, along with Kyle Vaughters. So these two are trying to team up on Zachary Fitzwater, who's taken the lead for the first time all season long. Can he hang on to lead his first lap of the season here on lap number 16? It's going to be close between Smith and Vaughters, but Fitzy got him. He led his first lap of the season right there in that 59. It may be short-lived, though, because here comes Kyle Vaughters on a hungry charge once again.
Yeah, and Stephen Hunter on the bottom with help from the 21 car, who so far in the playoffs has only scored 4 points. Just an abysmal effort to start from that 21 car. None of his doing, of course. It's all bad luck so far. Right now, trying to make some good luck here at a super speedway, trying to gain a lot of points on people, because there's a big gap to be made up. It's 101 points he's behind the leaders of the championship right now. So, a lot of points to be gained from the 21 car, making the most out of it at a super speedway right now.
You just said they couldn't go 5 wide. I just saw him in the back going 5 wide at the back of the shot. But Patrick Smith edges out Kyle Vaughters to lead that lap, and Smith got the inside line with help from Jake McMillan. But I don't know. There's still 30 laps to go in this race. It's still way too early to decide a winner here.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, they're going 5 wide at the back. Of course, it's so far gone. The win of this race right now. In fact, it's hard to even think about it. Who's going to win, because so many things will and can happen in this race. We still have pit stops, which are going to be wild. We still could see a big crash. Of course, they're keeping it tidy for now, but it's always a possibility. If there's one car that crashes, everybody's going to be in it. And, it's just going to be really interesting to see who's able to stay up there, who's able to be there at the end of this thing after the pit stops and everything. And look at that. Here comes the 18 on the bottom, Jared Polanski. He caught up to the group all by himself with the help of the 83. And now he's taking the lead on the bottom of this track with help from Nick Ortiz.
And he's got Diego Yepes in the 47 pushing as well. So move the 18 out into the lead of this race. That's not what Jeffery Finguy or Justin Hutchinson wanted to see at all, because if Polanski gets a point for leading a lap, Hutchinson's already got his. Finguy's back in that second pack, about 4 seconds off the lead, so he's not in any condition to lead a lap right now. But that's just another point in the bank for him. And right now, he's just trying to hold off Nick Ortiz to lead that lap, get that bonus point for leading the lap, and he gets it.
Yeah, look at that. This is an incredible battle. Now the 47 is coming on the bottom lane here, and the 73 is helping. This is 3 wide all the way back right now. It's incredible. This is some awesome racing we're seeing. Nice and clean and a lot of fun to watch. We got 2 packs in this thing right now. I'm sure that second pack is really looking forward to some pit stops and maybe even a caution.
I'm not sure because they might actually be gaining on these guys a little bit. We'll have to check. We'll have to check the leaderboard at some point in time and see if they're actually gaining. Because last I saw, they were about 4 or 5 seconds off the lead. Okay. But with these guys racing super hard up at the front, and those guys back there, they're also racing pretty hard, but they're not racing for major positions right now. They could be gaining a little bit of time as Daniel Bouchard takes the lead of the race. Maybe short-lived because here comes Cody Goforth with help from Keon Daly. And how about that 23 on the inside? We poke fun sometimes at his 5 consecutive DNFs and his 6 altogether, but he's quite good on the super speedways at least, and he's proving it here, running in that top 5.
Yeah, they've got something going on at the super speedways at least. You know, I mean, we've had weeks where we see the camera change and it just changes to a shot of that 23 car on its roof. I mean, it's incredible how that happens every single week. But right now he's running in 3rd place. That car is flying up at the front of the pack.
He's going to try and take 2nd away from Cody Goforth, trying to push Keon Daly out to the lead of this race. So don't count out anybody from this race, even those guys in that 2nd pack, because there's anything can still happen in this race, because we are at Armory Digital, and we're closing in on halfway already.
Yeah, it's you know, it's something special's going on right now. I mean, I can't believe we're 22 laps into this thing and we haven't seen a big crash. I really did not have that in the cards. If you asked me to make a bingo sheet, I don't think I would have put that on there. Lap 22, no cautions yet with Ryan Soper in 2nd place. I really don't think that would have been one of the things on there, but it's really good right now. You know, they're just being nice and tidy, nice and clean. I think that part of it might be that they're really only able to go 3 wide like this without how many cars there are in this front pack, and I think that's to great benefit of these drivers because they're not able to push 4 wide. They're not able to make it risky or as risky as it could be. So
I do see him going 4 wide on occasion, like right there in that battle between Fitzwater and Brown and those guys. But Anderson Reed led that lap. He's got two laps led so far. But here comes J.D. Martin with help from Jared Polanski, and not anymore because the 18's going down the inside trying to take the lead away.
You know, I think you're right about that 2nd pack. I think that they are starting to catch up a little bit, just a little at a time, those guys. But they're probably a little bit more orderly. They probably all are kind of thinking the same thing. We only have a shot if we catch up to those guys, especially if it only goes green. So, you know, they're probably going a little bit faster right now.
Yeah, you can see right here the gap between 24th and 25th. Jeff Bolton, 24th. William Brock, 25th. 2.9 seconds. We'll see what it says as they cross the line here. Looks like... Yep, they gained 0.2 that lap. They're continuing to pick up precious time, and I believe this is gonna be one big pack again before you know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Probably even before the pit stops, which is when it's going to get really crazy. When you can see that 46 had a valve problem. Of course, we already saw that there is an issue. Of course, earlier in this race, which is what split up these packs in the first place. But you know, valves were the cause of that. Nothing you can do as the driver or even the crew sometimes about a problem like that. Just an equipment malfunction there. But, you know, I'm starting to watch some of these drivers to see which ones are kind of up there all the time. And I've noticed Justin Hutchinson get back up there a few times. J.D. Martin has been gone up to the front, fallen back, and then come back. It happened with Jared Polanski as well. So these guys are kind of, you know, just keep them in your mind. Keep them in the back of your head and think about those guys at the end of this race. Those are the ones you're going to want to watch for. See where they are on the pack coming to the last 5 or 6 laps to see how far they can get or how close they are to the front already, because they're going to be the ones that are the fastest at the end of this thing.
You can see that 2nd pack gaining ground. They're down to about 2 seconds behind now, and they're gaining time every lap. The question is, when are they going to combine into that one big pack once again? because these fans are being treated to quite the show here at Armory Digital. Justin Hutchinson back out in front. He's going to get another lap led here. But Lane Sanders trying to take a peek underneath him. It looks like he's going to get a nose under him here right now. With help from Diego Yepes, Christian Vargas. We haven't mentioned his name yet today. And then we've got, that's a dangerous combination on the inside line. Kyle Waters and Joshua Michaels, nose to tail, just like they were in the spring.
Look, in that second pack, I just saw it. It looks like they've caught up enough that they're getting the draft. Yeah, they're here right now, and this thing is about to get a lot more fascinating to watch because it's about to be a lot more race cars fighting for the lead, and they're already starting to go 4 wide up front.
Lane Sanders now takes the lead in the 41. He's trying for his second Super Speedway win of the season, and it looks like he'll at least lead this lap, or unless Hutchinson can beat him to the line, it looks like, that's going to be very tight at the line. I think Sanders did get him, and yes, he did. Yeah. But look at these guys up at the front. We don't expect to see guys like Jordan Presto, Anderson Reed, at the Diego Yepes, Daniel Bouchard at the front of this pack, but yet here they are. They're running very solidly. Jordan Presto trying to take the lead, actually, in that Trevor Project 61. We just got a lot of racing left. We still got 22 laps to go.
And the 21 car, again, has come back up to the front and is looking really good. Of course, we know the noted struggles of the playoffs so far for that team. This is really, really a good run for them. Of course, he's sitting there in 4th, almost 5th place, but he's right there by the leaders. So that's really good for the pink 21 as they're coming down the front stretch right here. You know, it's really interesting to watch how the leaders are able to kind of stay ahead of everybody. And then as soon as somebody makes a big move, like we just saw the 26 car make a big move to the bottom. I don't know if it's going to work out, but as soon as somebody makes a move, they get a big run on the bottom. They're able to kind of hold it down there and pass the leaders.
Look at this. The pack has formed once again.
Oh, yeah. One big pack at this point. So, you know, there's enough cars now. I think that they could go 4 wide all the way around, all the way back.
You can see them 4 wide in the battle for 6 between Martin, Waters, Michaels, and Reed. But it's Lane Sanders and Justin Hutchinson side by side for the lead once more. And I think Sanders is going to continue to lead the way unless Hutchinson can get a big run off the high side. And it looks like he might here. That time, Hutchinson does beat Sanders to the line. So we've got 20 laps to go from Armory Digital. Pit stop still to come. And plenty of action still to come as well.
Yeah, we are well in that window now. I mean, if anybody dives into the pit lane, makes a pit stop, they will be able to make it to the end. But you don't want to pit alone at this track. You want to make it to the pit lane with a group of drivers so that you can have the draft when you exit. So we'll have to see how it goes, and we'll have to see who takes how many tires on this stop. I'm not sure what the tire wear is looking like for these teams, and I don't even know if they know. But it's the kind of thing that you have to anticipate for. You have to plan with other teams. You have to make sure that everybody's on the same page as you pit. Sometimes we see manufacturers pit together. You know, I don't know if that's going to happen here. I don't think it will. Everybody's too combobulated, you know, too grouped together on the outside and the inside and the middle. You know, but for any kind of organization like that, but you make sure that you can pit with people that you know are going to take the same amount of tires as you and get out on the track all in a group so that you're drafting and not losing time to the pack.
Remember a little while ago, I said Jeffery Finguy in the 92 was a little sweating a little bit because his championship rivals were out here leading laps. But now he's right in the thick of things in that second lane with help from Stephen Hunter in the 51 and fighting Roberto Crone Jr. in the 81 for second place. So put the 92 into a good spot. He always seems to do this. He always seems to find his way into a good position. Even when he's not having a good day, he just consistently plugs away at it. And that's why he's the points leader.
Yeah, you know, and somebody that I'm looking at to win this race, a couple of drivers that I'm seeing that I think have a genuine shot are the 66 car, because he's been really fast. He's come back from the back a couple of times, and of course the 18 as well up there. And we're watching. Looks like this pack is starting to separate.
Yeah, because the 10 hit the wall earlier in the lap, and it knocked. It sent him. It cost him a lot of momentum, and that kind of split the pack up a little bit once again. But right now, it's 3 wide for the lead with Carter, Polanski, and Martin. Carter's going to get the nose out with help from Earl Sear in this 2 car.
Look at that, Kevin Carter out front. that's really good for that team. Haven't had a lot of great runs this season, not a lot of luck, but right now looking really good in the pink number 70 car.
He's got a win at Watkins Glen, but hasn't done much else before or since in that 70 car. He missed the playoffs, of course. He's up there though as far as best of the rest is concerned. So
yeah,
he's doing a pretty good job. That win really helped his case at Watkins Glen. It ended a very long winless streak for Kevin Carter, and I don't know, pit stops are looming ever closer. It's just a matter of when. And how about that third car on the inside line, that red and black 08? That's Devin Fair making his and Team Dayspring's 1UP Superstar Series debut in that 08 car. And he's making a move for second now. He started this race very deep in the field. In fact, he started this race back in 40th. And now he's making a move for a 4-wide move on the inside for third. How about that?
Yeah, and that race car looks really fast right now. I mean, he's down there really pushing the issue, trying to go for the lead over Kevin Carter down there in that Chevy Camaro, making it happen. And man, I'm just so nervous about the pit stops. Anything can happen. I hope that it's just the bottom lane starts to kind of, like the bottom lane on one lap will go into the pits, and then the bottom lane for the next lap will go in, and then by the end of that, only one lane is left, of course. So then they all come into the pits, and hopefully nobody from the middle or top lane tries to come into the pits with everybody, because that could cause a big wreck, and hopefully everybody's on the same page. There's just so many things that can go wrong with green flag pit stops and super speedways. It could end some days real fast, and it makes me a little bit nervous, but that's all right. It's all exciting. It's all fun to watch. So we'll see how it goes as we see another new contender up front in that 53 car.
And in the 99 of Arthur Xavier, who's yet to get a top 10 this season in that 99. So looking for his first top 10 of the season and his final season in the sport. We're looking forward to seeing what he can do in his final few races. But here's another contender we haven't talked about, which is a bit of a surprise, actually, is this 19 car. Because she is usually very fast at the super speedways. I'm surprised it's taken her this long to get to the front of the field. But here she is, and she has taken the lead from the Armory Digital resident expert, Kyle Waters.
yeah, that 19 car. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of great luck from that car this season either, but there's a lot of time we see her in the pits sitting after a crash, but right now looking really, really good. That 19 car is out front and leading the way, came back all the way to the front from the back, maybe was in that second pack for a while, just hanging out, trying to catch up, and now out front and leading this thing, leading some laps.
And she's got help from Keon Daly. Richard Herman's back there as well. Ben McDonald's making his way back to the front. I'm expecting green flag pit stops to come very soon. We're just entering the pit window now, to where these guys are going to start to worry about fuel just a little bit in these cars, because they've run 35 flat-out laps around this place. That takes a lot of fuel out of you. So that's about like 72 miles on it. At full bore at this race, so you're really gonna need the top off at some point. But here comes Keon Daly to the inside of Blair in the 19 to take the race lead with help from Anderson Reed. There's a lot of the contenders up front we don't expect to see up front, but we're always happy to see them up front, because it gets their sponsors time on air. There's never a downside to running up front. As we see pit stops starting to come, Anderson Reed and Cody Goforth are the first two to hit pit road.
Yeah, a few laps ago, or a few corners ago, I saw the 53 and the 12 make contact and start moving down the track like they were going to wreck, but they were both able to hold on to it and save it. It was a little bit wild there. That was about to be the first crash of the race, but everybody is pitted, and this is really split up some people. I mean, we only got 3 cars in the shot right now. That was quite surprising. I expect people to start pitting from the front of the pack. I would say these guys should pit right now, keep that gap going into the pits and use it to their advantage, the gap that they've gained right now, and then stop losing time, because the bigger pack is, of course, going to have faster lap times. And
looks like Daly's going to come in, and Xavier's going to follow him, but Waters and Blair stay on the racetrack.
Yeah, interesting. These two are pretty good at super speedways. I don't know if they've got some strategy up their sleeve or what's happening here,
They
but
might be hoping for a caution that comes out because, like you said, so much can go wrong during a green flag pit stop. You just got to be wondering if these guys wreck while they're coming to pit road and we stay out, it'll be our race to lose pretty much.
yeah, that's what you think. I mean, I'm not sure if the track is. I mean, I'm not sure if they're lapping people that pitted last time by. But right now, they're out front, hanging on. There's a big line of cars behind. I'd expect that they're gonna pit here. Maybe Vaughters is gonna pit. We'll see.
Yeah, they're both coming in right here. Ben McDonald's coming in, but here's two cars staying out. J.D. Martin and Devin Fair. They're going to stay out and hope for a caution.
Yeah, maybe some bonus points here for J.D. Martin, who's sitting right now 13th, best of the rest in the points, trying to hold on to that lead a little bit, gain some points, and or the lead of the best of the rest, I should say. 13th in points is by far from the leader, but he's out there gaining points, managing the season, making something happen. I'm not sure how the strategy is going to work out as far as coming back out into the field, trying to race for a win. Hopefully everybody ends up in a pack again, and then it's going to be anybody's race. But they've got to be running on fumes at this point. It's 39 laps into the race. We'll see if they pit here. I'm sure they will.
Looks like, yes, here they come in right now. Earl Sear, I think he's going to join them. So, and it looks like we had a spinner, I think. It was either to 83 or to 81. So they have had a bit of a coming together on the racetrack. I'm not sure if that's going to bring out a caution or not. So far, we don't have one. But I would expect that if there's some debris out there from their collision, I would expect a caution to come out for that at least. There it is. So the caution flag flies for the first time with 10 laps to go in this race. And I believe this just did J.D. Martin, Devin Fair, and Earl Sear a massive favor.
Yeah, because they're sitting there in the pit lane right now, and these guys are just now passing, but the caution has already come out. So those guys are going to remain the leaders, I believe. And they're going to be ahead of everybody. That's a big time advantage to be out front of this pack when we go green.
So a debris caution with 9 laps to go in this race is going to make things very interesting for the remainder of this race, because J.D. Martin, Devin Fair, and Earl Sear are going to be your 3 leaders, as you can see here. So
catching up now.
Yeah, they're going to get by because they have every right to take the lead back, because they were scored as the leaders when they when the caution came out, of course. There's no need for a replay for this because it's a debris yellow. As you see Roberto Kern Jr. coming out of the pits now, and that unique banked pit exit, which is very special in my opinion. And in my opinion, a lot more tracks should have one like that. But it just helps to blend a lot easier.
Yeah.
But at any rate, the caution flag is out for the first time, and we are probably going to have about a 5-lap dash to settle the winner at Armory Digital. That ought to be fun.
Oh man, I mean, those words are just awesome to hear, right? That makes me so excited. It puts me on the edge of my seat, getting ready to watch this race. I'm so excited to see how it all works out, and everybody's pitted, so nobody's got to worry about fuel or tires or anything. Everybody came in, got their service, has now come back out on the track. The strategy has played out, so there's nobody that's waiting on strategy. It's just going to be flat out drive until you can't anymore, and hope you're up front when they cross the finish line.
How about the run Devin Fair has had, though? He started 40th. He's running second right now in his 1UP Superstar Series debut, and the first series start for Team Dayspring as a whole. They're planning on running the season finale at Homestead this year as well, in preparation for a full-time campaign next year to try and get some experience for Devin Fair as he makes the move to the Superstar Series in 2022. But he's having a very solid run in that 08 car, and looking back, you can see Keon Daly running 6th, Anderson Reed 8th, Arthur Xavier and Jared Polanski rounding out the top 10 now, with Kevin Carter directly behind. But as things run right now, J.D. Martin's got to be in the best position right now, because he's got the best track position, I'll say that much. And right now, I haven't seen enough of Devin Fair and Earl Sear out in front to determine if they are good cars or not. We will just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, '08 has kind of, ever since that '08 car made it up there, he's kind of hung around JD Martin and company, just kind of staying there, lurking a little bit. And then the two car of Earl Sear, I mean, I haven't seen that car up front much at all today. So it's going to be really fascinating to watch what those cars can do, getting up front on strategy. Of course, you still got Vaughters and Blair sitting there in fourth and fifth. Those two cars are really fast. And then some more cars that we've seen up front all day sitting behind as well. Right now they're single file. Doesn't look like much is going to happen, but eventually they're going to be four wide again in this race, and then it's going to be just wild again. So it's anybody's race at this point. All the cars are still left except for one that had an issue. It has come into the pits and retired for the day. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was another crash in this race that maybe ended it.
Yeah, right now, we've got 41 cars still on the racetrack right now. It's going to be very interesting to see who wins this race. We're closing in on the end of it now, though. And with J.D. Martin out in front of this race, it's just... I'm at a loss for words. I'm amazed it took us 40 laps to get our first caution of the day, and it was for debris of all things.
I know, you don't really... I mean, you expect there to be debris on the track, but not just by itself. You expect the debris to be because of a big crash that has happened.
Well, we did see an incident involving the 83 and 81 coming down for their pit stops, but even still...
Yeah.
It's not like it wasn't like a serious accident or anything at any rate.
Of course, they're both still in the race. They're both keep on trucking. It's that kind of thing where just everybody's been really tidy today. Been really good. Will it continue with a 5-lap dash to the finish? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't expect that to happen. But of course, that's how they've been running all day. So. Man, it's always exciting to watch races here. And this is an extra fascinating one, just to see how these drivers are able to react and kind of stay off of each other while racing so close together. I mean, you drive on the highway and you don't drive that close to other cars because it's too dangerous. You wouldn't want to be that close in case something happened. And that's just on the highway where you rarely see a lot of crashes. And today, we've seen racing that's close. They're 4 wide, almost all the way around, and you get 3 lanes of cars pushing and shoving and rubbing bumpers and no crashes. So it's been a real fascinating kind of day. Whether it continues or not, I don't know. After this restart, we'll find out. But for now, in this race, I'm very impressed by these superstar drivers making the name right today, as they're all keeping it clean.
Checking in on the fastest lap as well, Kyle Vaughters holds that, and so he will get an extra point in his bid for Rookie of the Year honors, which he currently holds by a little bit over Roberto Crone Jr. So Vaughters currently doing his job of staying out in the prime positions, as I think we'll have 1 lap to go to the restart right here. And yes, lights are out on the track and on the pace car, so we will have 1 more lap to go until we go back racing. And we have J.D. Martin out in front of this race, looking for his first win since Denver, back at race 10 of the season. It's been a while since he's been in the victory lane. Devin Fair runs second, Earl Sear third, Kyle Vaughters fourth, Blair and Daly 5th and 6th, ahead of Ben McDonnell, Anderson Reed, Arthur Xavier, and Jared Polanski round out the top 10. And we're going to have, like I said, 5 laps to go to settle the winner here at Armory Digital. It's the playoffs. Anything can still happen.
Yeah, and something else that's fascinating to me as we look at this shot of the cars coming to the green flag here in this line, I don't see any yellow spoilers other than the 19 of Blair, who it's just the paint scheme. It's not a playoff banner. So that's going to be really fascinating to see where the playoff drivers can end up, because right now there's a lot of points to be gained up front. If you could get up there, look, it takes until 10th place. Jared Polansky is the first playoff driver, and then there's still a few behind that aren't playoff drivers. So right now, lots of points to be gained, and I'm sure that everybody knows it. They're all watching to see where those playoff drivers are and how many points they can gain in the playoffs. It's just something else to watch for in this thing.
And keep in mind, yesterday, the winner of that race on the final restart started outside the top 15 and went on to win that race. So you don't have to necessarily start up front on these restarts to win these races. It certainly helps, but it is by no means required. As the pace car makes the hard left turn on the pit road, we're getting ready to restart this thing.
Yep, the 66 is going to lead the way with the 08 following. We'll see what kind of restart he gets. We've seen some big moves before on restarts at this track. You know, just they're coming to the line, and you have to get a good start. Here they come. Let's see who gets the best start here. The 08 maybe could get a big run. They're coming to the green. There it is. Like Earl Sear has gotten a really good run on the outside. He jumps high, but the 66 is going to keep the lead for now as they go too wide for second place already, and I'm sure the whole pack is catching up, ready to gain some spots. It looks like Kyle Waters is going to the bottom here.
Interestingly, he does not go with his teammate Earl Sear in the outside line. He prefers to push Devin Fair on the inside. But now Keon Daly's going to get underneath him, make it a 3-wide battle for third. And all the while, J.D. Martin's looking at this and saying, yes, keep doing that. That's just going to keep you out in front of this thing. And right now, they're already 3-wide once again.
Yep, and Jared Polansky is working on trying to gain some positions. He's trying to gain some points in the playoffs. And right now, he's got 2 more playoff drivers that are catching on the bottom lane. This whole pack is still getting up to speed, still trying to gain some time and get up there and have a shot at this thing. They're going 3 wide for second place, and J.D. Martin has stayed out front.
Coming to 4 laps of racing to go now. Earl Sear makes a move to the outside with help from Blair. It's not going to be enough. They're going to go 4 wide for second. Earl Sear continues to maintain his gap on the high side with help from the 19. But there's 2 Kings Motorsports cars on the inside, Keon Daly and Jared Polansky, and they are on a charge. They're pushing their way past J.D. Martin, but here comes Polansky. He doesn't want to help anyone at this point. He wants to get the win himself, and with help from Richard Herman, he's making a move to the inside for the lead.
Yeah, they're 3 wide for the lead right now, and J.D. Martin is watching it all fall apart right now. He was up ahead, and now he's behind. Jared Polansky is up front, and Kyle Waters is on the bottom now. We know that car is fast today. What is he going to be able to do with Jared Polansky up front?
How about Zachary Fitzwater on the inside looking for his first career win in the 1-Up Superstar Series? He's now in the top 5 as well in that Wilson Security Dodge. But right now, Jared Polansky with a comfortable lead out front with only 3 laps to go. Can he hold on to win here at Armory Digital and take over the points lead once again here?
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because there's only a couple more playoff drivers in sight. This is going to be a big points advantage if Jared Polansky can pull it off, but he's still got to hold off all these drivers for a couple more laps.
Here comes Fitzwater with help from Blair in the 19, but Blair bails on him, going down to the inside now. It is the 19 and the 59 side by side for second. We're coming to 2 laps of racing to go now, and Jared Polansky is still out front. Can anyone stop the 18 from winning this race?
I don't know, but Blair looks like that 19 car. I mean, that whole team for sure right now jumping up and down watching this. I mean, a real shot to win the race, and same with Fitzwater and the 59 right there. I mean, they've all got a shot to win this thing, but they're going to have to get past a playoff driver to do it. This is going to be really entertaining to watch. I don't know what's going to happen, but boy, am I excited. Look at this. It looks like the 19 has got a big run.
With help from the 93, William Brock. Where'd he come from? In the SO Dodge. He's making a move with Blair in the 19. They're going to push their way past Jared Polansky. Coming to the white flag this time. Anybody in this field can still win this race, but it's Blair in the best position. But here comes Joshua Michaels on the inside of William Brock. White flag in the air one more time around.
Yeah, and Joshua Michaels knows it. about Jared Polansky up there. He doesn't want Jared Polansky to be the guy to get the most points in the playoff drivers today. Joshua Michaels is going to take that spot and sitting in second place, looking really good, maybe with a shot to pass for the lead right now.
I wouldn't count anything out at this point. Remember, Joshua Michaels finished second here in the spring by 5 1,000ths of a second. Oh, but Christian Vargas makes a move to the inside. They're going to go 3 wide. Where did Vargas come from in the 54? They're going to go 3 wide for the lead, coming for 3 and 4 for the final time. It's Vargas now taking the lead of this race, with Henry Thomas pushing. Where in the world did these cars come from? But Christian Vargas is now clear of the pack. But Henry Thomas is to his inside, coming through the tri-oval. For the final time, it's going to be side by side at the line. Christian Vargas going to hold him off and win at Armory Digital.
Oh, it was close, but Christian Vargas did it. I mean, we were talking about Jared Polansky and Joshua Michaels, and Christian Vargas said, "No, boys, I'm going to win this thing," and he did it. What a finish to that race. That was fantastic.
4th career win for Christian Vargas, his 3rd of the season. Henry Thomas gets his best finish of the season in 2nd, ahead of Bobo Jones 3rd. Joshua Michaels fell back to 4th at the end. JQ Halleck gets their first top 5 of the season in 5th, ahead of Blair in the 19.6. William Brock 7th. Zachary Fitzwater in our top 10 in 8th. Arverick Xavier gets his first top 10 of the season in 9th, ahead of Jared Polansky, who fell back to 10th at the end. Wow. Well, that was another exciting Armory Digital race. It's almost sad to say we might not come back here in 2022, because this is just some great racing to be had here all around this racetrack. But I expect the track that we come to in 2022 will be just as good, if not better, as far as the racing action is concerned.
Absolutely. You know, and we just watched a fantastic race with an excellent finish, exciting all the way to the finish line, and we didn't have to tear up any race cars to do it. So that's always a positive. And
no accidents this entire race. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah. Oh, but for sure. You know,
the one-ups, I hate to interrupt, but the One-Up Superstar Series is off next week to give time for the One-Up Nitro National Series to shine at South Boston. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time for a special race. It'll be at the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway, and that, I imagine, will be a whole different kind of intense action, and we hope you join us for that. So for Duke Antek and for myself as well, we say goodbye from Armory Digital, and congrats to Christian Vargas. He pulled a win out of his hat, and he took it here at Armory Digital.